This is Ivana Morales from Aztec News, and we're here today with Dasha Bob, who moved from Ukraine to the United States 6 years ago. And she has worked as a journalist here in San Diego, but now she lives in Chicago. So, how are you today, Dasha?
I'm good, thank you.
So, let me start by asking, why did you decide to move from one country to another? Like, what was the motivation behind this such a huge change?
Well, I always wanted to study abroad,
Hmm.
and I knew that I'll study in another country eventually. And I always wanted to visit United States. Um, so I decided to try, and I moved to Chicago to study English first. And I did that for about a year. And then I decided to continue my education here in the United States and go to college. So I found a good school in San Diego, and so I moved there.
If you don't mind asking you, what college here in San Diego?
It was San Diego Mesa College. I
Oh,
got my associate degree in journalism there.
okay. Thank you for clarifying that. So, was it hard for you to adapt here, considering it's a whole new country, new traditions? Like, did you have cultural shock?
It wasn't as hard for me because I moved with my sister,
Mm.
so I had some support, but still it was difficult to be away from my country, from my friends, family, and be in this whole new environment. And also, it was difficult in communication because there was a language barrier, so I knew some English, but turned out that I didn't know enough. So it was hard to get to know people here and just in general to communicate.
So, would you say like maybe the language barrier was the biggest challenge for you when you moved?
Yeah, it was kind of, because as I said, I studied English in Ukraine and I thought that I knew the language, but then when I came here, I I didn't expect that people use so much slang in their language. So it was really difficult to understand people here.
So, how did you overcome that language barrier? How did you prepare yourself?
Well, first of all, I went to school here, so I studied English. So that, of course, was a big help. And also, I watched a lot of TV shows in English. I listened to the music in English, and also I started to talk to people here. I think the hardest part is to initiate conversation, to not be afraid to actually talk to people. So I started to talk to people in my class or just outside of class, and so that helped a lot.
So you mentioned that you used to watch TV shows. What kind of TV shows?
My favorite was Friends. It's very popular in Ukraine. Um, so I watched that TV show about like probably 10 times, if not more. And yeah, as I watched, I would pick up some phrases and repeat them. And that also helped me um, to learn the slang,
Yeah.
which people use a lot here. So that was a big part that helped me.
So you say you're starting communicating with your classmates here in the United States to learn the slang and everything. So in that, while doing that, but while building that relationship with your classmate, did you notice like a difference between how to make friends here in the United States or in Ukraine? Like maybe cultural differences, how to approach people?
Yeah, I mean, people in my class, there were uh, kids from other countries too, but people outside of school, when I talk to them, I definitely notice the difference because people seem to be very friendly. Um, at first, and then as you talk to them, it's not what you expect. Like you think that people want to be friends with you, right? Because they're so nice to you at first. But then I realized that that was just how people here in the United States are brought up. They're just um, they're taught to be friendly with strangers. That's just how it works here. Whereas in Ukraine, it's you're not kind of like pushed to be friendly with everyone, with strangers. So people can seem reserved at first, but as you get to know them better, you can see that people are very, very open and they're willing to help you, and they're very friendly.
I think it's really interesting how you had the best of both worlds, right? Like how when you come here to the United States, you experience like that relationship with people from who share the same experience as you, like as migrants, right?
Yes, people in class, and it was even easier to make uh, friends with them than with Americans, because people who emigrated here, they understand you better
Yeah.
because they've been through this process of immigrating, so they understand your struggle. So you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I bet. Can you please tell me a little bit about your life right now and what's next for you in your path?
Yeah, right now I live in Chicago. I moved here after I graduated from college 4 months ago,
Mm.
and I've been looking for a job here in journalism. It's been kind of difficult so far, because journalism is a very competitive field. So I keep looking, and I hope I'll find something one day. But given the situation right now, it's hard to tell what's going to happen next. So it's kind of hard to plan things. The plans for my future right now is to finish my education and get my bachelor degree, so that I can see in the future. But for the nearest future, I can't tell right now.
Yeah, especially because of the whole coronavirus thing that hopefully,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
let's hope it ends soon so we can move forward with our lives.
Yeah, I wish that for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Dasha. It was nice talking with you, and I'm really thankful that you were able to share your experiences with us.
Thank you so much, Ivana.
Okay, this is Ivana Morales from Aztec News.